Hey hookers! So today we are tackling one of the biggest mysteries in English grammar, and that is the who-whom dichotomy. Like, who is she? Like, we've heard about her, we've talked about her, but really, who is she? Also, hey English grammar video, like, plot twist, the English teacher is actually doing English again. My poor subscribers are like, what is this channel? He thinks he can do makeup, he's dancing on hikes, he's talking about gender in Angola.
Excuse me?
Not to intimidate you, but I'm literally crazy. Whoa. But let's be serious, y'all, because grammar is no laughing matter. That was a joke. So who and whom is a difficult grammatical concept because... What? I do feel like you need to understand other grammar concepts in order to understand her. You need to understand pronouns, specifically the difference between subject and object pronouns. Don't worry, we're gonna talk about all of these, so get out your notebook, do it! Do it! Writing is proven to help retain knowledge. You need to understand clauses, and specifically relative clauses and relative pronouns, so more pronouns. And then you can understand who and whom. And this is just how I teach it because this is how I figured it out. I taught myself. Disclaimer. Okay, pronouns. Do we know pronouns? If not, it's okay. We're here to learn. Remember, a pronoun is a word that substitutes for a noun. So instead of Michael likes plants, we could say he likes plants. He substitutes for the noun Michael. That is my real name, by the way. I don't use my real name for my other socials, and last week I posted my COVID results, which were negative. I got all these DMs and people were like, that's not you. That's not your name. And I had such a Rihanna moment because I was like, ooh, nah, nah, what's my name? So we have different types of pronouns. What are subject pronouns? A subject pronoun is called that because it substitutes for the subject of a sentence or clause. For example, Debbie loves cats.
I really love cats.
Debbie is the subject and it's at the beginning of the sentence, the main noun in the sentence. We could replace Debbie with the pronoun she because she can replace a subject. She is a subject pronoun. I, you, he, she, it, we, they, these are all pronouns that can substitute for subjects in a sentence. So what is an object pronoun? Well, remember, an object tells us who or what receives the action of a verb. So in the same sentence, Debbie loves cats, what is the object? What receives Debbie's love? Cats. The cats receive Debbie's love.
I just love them and I want them and I want them in a basket.
If we want to use an object pronoun, then that means we're going to substitute the word cats, the object, with a pronoun. Mother. Oh my god. If we want to use an object pronoun, then we are going to substitute the word cats with a pronoun. Which one? We can say Debbie loves them. So the object pronouns are me, you, him, her, us, it, and them. That was totally out of order, but you get it. And we substitute cats with them, one of the object pronouns, because we are working with the object and not the subject. All right, so that is our pronoun lesson for the day. Step 1, do you have any questions? Yes, I am available. Step 2, relative clauses and more pronouns, actually. Okay, I have a video around here somewhere on relative clauses, and that goes a little bit more in depth. But quickly, a clause is a section of the sentence with a subject and a verb. Know that. And a relative clause is like an extended adjective, a group of words that further describes a noun in a sentence. This medicine, which is really expensive, can be found in most pharmacies. You tell me, where is the relative clause in this sentence? Yup, which is really expensive. It gives us more information and further describes medicine, which is the subject. And the commas kind of set it apart. And for those of you who know your and know your grammar, don't worry about defining and non-defining relative clauses right now. That's another lesson, so keep it, sis. Okay, so then we get to the pronoun part. Relative clauses have their own group of pronouns. Who, whose, whom, that, and which. Oops, there she is. Okay, Students often ask, what is whom? And many people answer like this. It's an object relative pronoun, period. Which literally answers nothing because it's like, girl, what the is an object relative pronoun? So this is why when my students ask me this question, I start all the way back at the beginning with pronouns. Now we can understand. It's an object relative pronoun, which means if the subject of the relative clause, which is usually the first word in the clause, is actually the object of that clause, then that means we can use whom instead of who. Mira, this is again the final step, and I think it's easiest through a type of trial and check to see if you're gonna use who or whom. Let's take this example. My friend who is from Brazil is cute. He is. Where is my relative pronoun? Who. And who substitutes for what? My best friend. My best friend is the subject. And who is a pronoun that substitutes for my best friend because we're describing my best friend. Who is a subject pronoun because I can replace it with a simpler subject pronoun, he. He is from Brazil. This means that who is the subject of the relative clause. So who is the appropriate relative pronoun for this clause? But what if I have this? My best friend whom I admire is from Brazil. Brazil. Can I replace whom with he? Is whom a subject pronoun?
No.
Okay, so let's check. He, I admire, no, not a match. But if I move whom to the end and replace it with him, then it works. Sorry, I'm thinking about my friend. I admire him. So I used an object pronoun instead of a subject pronoun to make the substitution work. That means I used whom correctly. Because whom is the object of the clause, whom is receiving the action of the verb in that same clause. I admire who? Him. Also, other things to notice, if you use whom, you gotta move things around in order to check it. And whom is usually followed by another subject, in this case, I. These things don't happen when you use who. Who is much simpler. Who is usually just followed by a verb. Who is. Who is from Brazil. Who died last week. Who loves me. Whew. Okay, let's do another one. Mrs. Doubtfire, whom I like a lot, was absent today. Where's the relative clause? Whom I like a lot. What is the subject of the clause? It's I. And whom refers to who I like, which means that whom is the object of the clause. Meaning, it's an object pronoun, a relative object pronoun, because it's one of those 5 who, whom, which, that. What was the other one? Who, whom, which, that. What is the other one? Whose. Oh my gosh, sorry, I forgot about whose. Okay, so this is my method. If you want to use whom, try it and check. Do you need a subject of the clause or an object? That's what you really need to find out. Ooh, and that's that. Ooh, but did you think we were done? Girl, sit down.
Sit your ass down and shut the hell up, bitch!
We need to talk. There's some extra stuff around this grammar, like when to use it, how to use it, all these things. Whom is very formal grammar. It's very written. Like, the only people who use it in speech are English teachers, except this one, because I don't give a Ain't nobody got time for that. But normal people, like, don't use it in speech. English teachers aren't normal. Oh, I'm just kidding. That was a joke. Most people don't use it in everyday speech because you can see why. It's freaking hard. I never learned this in school, like most grammar. I mean, I learned all of my grammar my first couple years of teaching. Trust. When you study to become an ESL teacher, these days everything is about communication, communicative language teaching. Okay. But like, what happens when I get a grammar question? I don't know. I'm going off topic here, but it's kind of like frustrating. I'm gonna make a confession here. I do not consider myself a communicative language teacher.
Scandal. The controversies.
Escándalos.
That's right, I said it. I'm very teacher-centered. Like, look at me. I'm the center of attention here in this classroom. Like, look at this.
Look at me, look at me.
No, I do group work and stuff like that. Like, you have to, otherwise it gets really boring. But still, I'm a grammar teacher and I'm a testing teacher. So my classroom environments are much more suited to board work and whatever. A blend is nice. Where was I going with this? Check the script. Oh yeah, so I learned all my grammar my first couple years of teaching. Oh, by the way, if you were my student those first couple years, I am so sorry. Delete, return to sender, take it back.
Remember me different.
You also need to know this if you're, you know, like taking exams. We stand a tester, Cambridge, TOEFL, TOEIC, IELTS. Okay, and then business. It's good to know for that too. Por ejemplo, this email is regarding the shampoo orders for July. Mr. Sakamoto, whom I emailed yesterday, assured us the delivery will take place between 3 o'clock p.m. and 4 o'clock p.m. See, she can be professional. She's trained. She's a teacher of business. Imagine me, a businessman. Hey y'all, like we signed in the contract or what? Starbucks is about to close. So that email is an appropriate situation to write whom. But normal everyday life, thank you, next. And oftentimes we see it after a preposition, which makes it even more formal. Mr. Johnson, for whom I baked the cookies, gave me a big hug. Well, I guess that's a little mismatched, but you can see grammatically how that works and how formal it makes that clause look. All right, now we're free. I hope that made sense. If it didn't, read a book. I'm gonna go now. Oh my god, I'm going home this week to Virginia. Y'all better stay tuned because you know I'm gonna vlog my time in the South on the mountain at home for my sister's wedding. I love weddings.
I love weddings. Drinks all around.
I've put some links in the description below, so if you're having trouble with who or whom, you can refer to these other sites. You know, if mine was confusing. But don't worry, who and whom is not easy. Most native speakers do not understand when to use whom either. You could be a genius, but if you're like me, you're gonna need to review it a few times before it makes sense. Always and forever, thanks for watching. You do you, I'll do me. Happy fall, pumpkin spice, here we come. Goodbye, see you later. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. XOXO, this English. Oh.